What's up, you guys? It's your boy Lil Spunks. I want to talk about a few things. More importantly, I'm going to talk about a lot of Dragon's Dogma and a lot of Final Fantasy. The main gist of what I got to say is the reviews for Dragon Dogma 2 has come in, and it looks like. All right. So let me tell you all a story, okay? So I'm at work and shit, right? I'm listing items on eBay for work, okay? I'm just listing shit. I'm bored out of my fucking mind. Bored out of my mind. I'm looking on YouTube. I see Dragon Dogma 2 reviews come out. Oh shit! Cause I've been. Oh my god! I got this on me right now. No, this is for my computer, but. Oh look, I see the Metacritic reviews. Cause, not gonna lie, Dragon's Dogma 2 has been terrifying me. It's been terrifying me not because I don't like the game, because Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I really want to win Game of the Year, and the way motherfuckers have been hyping this game up called Dragon's Dogma 2 has been fucking terrifying me. They was hyping this shit like it was on the ring. It was fucking insane. Okay, so let me Dragon's Dogma 2 on Metacritic got an 87. Got an 87. I was like, oh shit, man. I was like, oh shit, man. I couldn't believe it. Cause this game. Okay. So why am I making this video? Okay. So why am I making it? I'm gonna give a few reasons why. That I feel like Dragon's Dogma 2 did exceed expectations, but some expectations they put way too much expectations that Dragon's Dogma cannot fulfill. And this video is on why Final Fantasy VII Rebirth will beat Dragon's Dogma 2. Well, not actually like beat. I'm gonna say edge out. It edges out Dragon's Dogma 2. It will edge Dragon's Dogma 2 in winning the Game of the Year. Because, as we know, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, it was at a 92 for a while. Now it's back to a 93. It's back to a 93 with a 9.0 user rating. Just fantastic. It's just fantastic reviews going on, and you know, there's no negative or mixed reviews on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. There are with Dragon's Dogma 2. Now, I'm not trying to start no tribalism war between Dragon's Dogma 2 and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Even though I don't mean to, it might be unintentional. But some of the reasons I think Dragon's Dogma 2 could not get the edge on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth for Game of the Year. I think now I'm 95% sure that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth will win Game of the Year. Like, I'm damn near positive on that now. The only game that fucking frightened the shit out of me of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth not winning Game of the Year was this game right here. It was Dragon's Dogma 2. Now, we could have some Baldur's Gate, okay? We might have a game come swoop out of nowhere and take over. Now, there's only one game that I think might still have a chance to take the Game of the Year from Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Some people might say Rise of the Ronin. I don't fucking think in any lifetime the Rise of Ronin is even gonna get a higher rating than Dragon's Dogma 2. It don't look better than Dragon's Dogma 2. I'm gonna play Dragon's Dogma 2 when it comes out. I never played Dragon's Dogma 1, so I never played Dragon's Dogma 1, and Dragon's Dogma 2 has not come out yet, so I'm just basing off of reviews of what other people saying, and what I think that why I think that it couldn't it didn't it's not going to be game of the year. It's not like you can. That's why I didn't say if Final Fantasy VII Rebirth will edge Dragon's Dogma 2. Dragon's Dogma 2 is not winning game of the year. Okay, like I think it'll probably even be hard for and you know, I think it'd probably be hard for even Dragon's Dogma 2 like user rating to even reach Rebirth. Like, and I think Rebirth would have got a 95 if it wasn't for the ending. Okay, the ending was, I think, the breakable. But I'm gonna get into that later, because in this same video, I'm going to do my own review of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and my issue. But yeah, I don't think even the Dragon's Dogma 2 user ratings are going to be as good as Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Why? Because what I've been hearing about the game is they make you do a lot of stuff yourself, and there's not a problem with that. Like, people like me, I'm fine with that, but other people, they like a more calm experience. They like to be guided and stuff. They like waypoints and stuff like that. On Dragon's Dogma 2, I'm hearing there's none of that. Okay, I'm hearing there's none of that, and the predominant reason why I think that Dragon's Dogma 2 did not get into the 90s, not in the 90s of the Metacritic, and the reviews is whether you try to deny it, try to cope all you want, you can't deny that fucking frame rates matter. You can't deny this. And this was, to me, the biggest reason why I think Dragon's Dogma 2 will have success. I think it's definitely going to sell more than Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I think, because if you don't know, Rebirth has been selling terrible in Japan. But I think Dragon's Dogma 2 is the frame rates. And when you confirm that it's uncapped 30, nah. People are not gonna fuck with that, but people are used to like 60 FPS games. And I'm telling me, I would rather play a fucking blurry ass Final Fantasy VII Rebirth in 60 FPS than having to play Dragon's Dogma 2 on a PlayStation 5 with no option to change to performance or quality mode. I'm sorry. I can't play a 30 FPS game no more, bro. I can't. It has to be at least 60. Fucking God of War 3 on PS5 is upscaled to 60, bro. Dragon's Dogma 2 couldn't get to 60? That's crazy. And the game looks fun. I'm gonna play it. It looks fucking incredible. It looks insane. I'm gonna be playing on my PC though, because I'm not playing a 30 FPS game, like I said. But I think that is the predominant reason why some people are iffy and some people have problems with Dragon's Dogma 2. Not to say that Dragon's Dogma 2 is getting received poorly. No, it's not. It's about average, and it's way better than the reviews of the first game had. So that right there is a success itself. But Rebirth, it was something, man. It was something. And I didn't think it was going to be capable of even getting a 96. I mean, not 96, a 93. I thought it was going to be like an 89. It blew so many people's expectations out of the water. Like, also another thing, I think a lot of people think Dragon's Dogma 2 is not original. I think they're basing stuff off other things. And like I said, the other reason why Dragon's Dogma 2 falls short a little bit, and a little bit, just a tiny bit, is because people was having so much expectations, like unbelievable fucking expectations. Like They were saying this was Baldur's Gate, this was Elden Ring, like fucking Skyrim. They were saying all this shit. Like, yes, it was similar to Skyrim, but if you talk to people that play fucking Dragon's Dogma 1, they'll tell you you're fucking insane if you think Dragon's Dogma 2 is something like Elden Ring. Okay? And, like, it's just the expectations like that. I think, like, was it BG Gamer or something like that said, this is not even just the game of the year. This is one of the greatest games of all time. It's like, bro, when you start hyping people with expectations like that, there's bound with disappointment. Like I said, a lot of people did not expect Rebirth to get the success that it did. And ultimately, I think Rebirth will win the game of the year. To me, there's no other games that's going to compete with either Dragon's Dogma or Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. To me, those were the two. Unless Hades come out the water and start going crazy. Okay? Rise of the Ronin, no. Stellar Blade, no. Fuck you Princess Peach fanboys, hell no. Okay? But that's all I want to say on that matter. Now, I want to talk about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Okay? So, I finished Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and I want to give my overall thoughts and kind of a review on how I felt about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So this game might be kind of long. I mean, not the game, but the video might be actually kind of long. So, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I think is an incredible, fantastic game. Okay, one of the greatest games I ever played in my life. I'm not gonna lie. Yes, it has issues, but man, the journey through that game, bro. I was on that shit for like 160 something hours. Like, straight taking over my life, and I loved it. It was like blowing past me. It wasn't like, oh, damn, I gotta get through here and do that. It was some points where I had to, like, damn, I gotta go back here again. Like, and towards the end, it did get a little like patty. It did get a little patty, especially like when they started telling you guys to do more combat and shit. I'm like, all right, they're getting a little patty with it, but I think the success of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth mostly is because to a lot of people, it blew a lot of people's expectations because of the first game, Final Fantasy VII Remake, where a lot of people were disappointed about Final Fantasy VII Remake and the side quests and stuff like that. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, they're thoroughly going in depth with some of the side quests. I really like the side quests. I really love the minigames. Minigames was going crazy. Okay, Queen's Blood, that was my shit, dog. I was on that shit for fucking hours, man. I love Queen's Blood. Story elements were fantastic as well. You got, what was I gonna say? You got a lot of additional things, a lot of additional story beats between the beginning and the end part. There's a lot of story beats that make sense between the original canon of Final Fantasy VII original and now the remake version. There's secret bosses. There's secret bosses and stuff like that. So overall, I think Final Fantasy VII is an incredible game. I think it definitely deserves I think it definitely deserves Game of the Year. And you know, a lot of people don't care about like reviews and stuff like that. I'm in that camp. I'm not saying I was. I still don't care about like critics and like reviews and stuff like that. Did you not see fucking Ghost of Tsushima rob The Last of Us 2? I mean, Last of Us 2 robbed Ghost of Tsushima for the Game of the Year. That was complete bullshit. That was the worst Game of the Year winner ever. But for this one, I do. Why? Because I feel like it's very important for this game to win Game of the Year. This will be the first Final Fantasy to win a Game of the Year ever, especially on the main stage, like the Game of the Year awards, which is fucking incredible. And I feel like it definitely deserves it because if this game win Game of the Year, it's going to have a lot more eyeballs on it, and a lot of more people are going to talk about it. And it is an incredible game. I feel like a lot of people can get into it. That's why I think the difference between Dragon's Dogma 2 and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth come in. I don't think a lot of people are going to be able to get into something like a Dragon's Dogma 2 unless you're like a die-hard RPG nigga. Yes, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is an RPG, but they're still open their arms up for different people to come in and join in. To join in, and there's a lot of fun stuff that people can relate to, like the mini games and stuff like that. So it's actually incredible. So to me, off bias, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is 10 out of 10. Okay, but I do have some issues. Okay, the first issue. Some of the mini games were fucking just broken. I'm not gonna lie. Some mini games were just like pissing me the fuck off. Like, I'm not gonna lie. And sometimes it didn't feel like it was hard. It felt like there's something wrong with the game. For example, that fucking juicy chocobo mission, bro. Like, where you have to fly and catch the airwaves and shit like. And then you get to the end and you miss it every single time you miss. You have to do bullshit to even get to the end, and you still will probably mess up. That mini game was terrible. That one is the worst mini game possible. That was super shitty. The robot one was super shitty, especially the last one, because you get all the way to a point and they have a timer. And also with Fort Condor, to me, like I said before, no game where there is no game on Earth where you're having an advantage the whole game. You're up two birds or 2 eagles to 1, and you still lose. It's not even a draw, you lose. Like, you have to get the main dude, which the main like pawn. Okay? It makes no fucking sense. Like, you don't lose when you're up big. And the robot one was like, damn, man. Because in the end, you get him all the way to low health, and then he used regen. It's like, fuck, man. It's like, it feels impossible to beat. Some mini games feel like impossible to beat, and it feels cheap. Like, you know what I mean? If you get that, it feels cheap. I felt like they was trying to do that because the expectations of the Final Fantasy VII original game had like very hard mini games, especially the Chocobo racing one. So they felt like they had to make some shit impossible, really. And some shit was really frustrating and really, like, I think badly designed. Some mini games were badly designed. Some were good, like 3D Brawler was good, and I like the Chocobo racing. Those were good. But there were some, like the robot one and the Chocobo flying one, which were actually fucking shitty. They were actually trash. Like, period. Another thing. I feel like sometimes they try to add too much to the canon. It's like, and what do I mean by that? Okay. So, they add Cicene. They add Cicene into Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And once she joins the game, she throws a wrench into a whole bunch of shit. You want to know why? Because if you have played Crisis Core, you know that Cicene was there for a lot of events. She was there for a lot of events that happened that directly impact the story. Especially with Cloud and his whole, personality thing. Okay? So, Cicene comes to the story. She's this is a spoiler. This is a spoiler warning for a bunch of Final Fantasy games. If you don't want spoilers, I'll probably spoil some shit already, but if you don't want spoilers, please click off. Or if you have played it, please continue. But since the day comes back, she sees Cloud. She's like, oh, and she's like, I thought you were somebody. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, nigga, you saved him. I'm like, what? You helped him and Zack escape. I'm like, this makes no sense. I'm like, this makes no sense, like narratively and chronologically, because as you know, Cloud was knocked out, and Cicene helped Zack and Cloud escape. She was right there. She seen Cloud knocked out, so therefore she knows exactly who Cloud is. You telling me that she conveniently went to Gungaga? Gungaga. She went to Gungaga, not for Zack, but to help people just because. And she don't remember who the fuck Cloud is, even though she helped save him. That threw a lot of shit like, And she knows Aerith, and she wasn't saying nothing. It was like, bruh. It was like, the Turks have been watching Aerith for years. Okay? They had no clue of each other at all. And then they have the combat simulator side missions, and then they have, like, I don't know if it's for instructing Cicene to become a Turk, but fucking Elena was there. It was like, so Elena was a Turk before Cicene? Where the fuck was she in Crisis Core? What the fuck? But I don't know. Okay, I don't know if they were just training or some shit, but if you keep up with the story of the combat sim shit, they're training a new person, and if you get to the end of the side mission, Cicene walks in and tells you a little bit about the Turk. That's the type of shit she do. She goes around, you do side missions, and Cicene will tell you a little bit about her history. Luckily, if you do complete most of her side missions, and I say, because it's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, there's a lot of side missions. And if you don't, you're going to think like how I did previously, where I was like, well, how the fuck did Cicene forget Cloud? Luckily, Cicene reveals that she remembers Cloud. Okay, now it's kind of a full-blown retcon, but okay, you're fixing shit. But then then Cloud's like, how do you know this shit? And then she's like, I can't tell you. I'm like, man, there's something with these niggas in these Final Fantasy games. Like, where they have you go through this dialogue box shit where you have to pick questions to ask her, and you only can pick one. It's like some lazy shit, so she won't have to reveal, yes, I know y'all, I'm a Turk. I was there in Nibelheim. I was close to Nibelheim when fucking Sephiroth, like, murdered everybody. When Sephiroth murdered everybody and I helped Zack escape and he was there. And she's like, nope. I can't tell you no more. You have to figure it out, y'all. Like, why? What? Like, Tifa does the same shit. It's like, Tifa, she knows a lot. She says nothing. She says absolutely nothing until fucking Cloud says something. It's like, why do niggas always keep secrets in these games? I had a problem in the original when she was keeping the secrets. I'm like, bro, they low-key made it worse, because they made it to where, like, okay, Tifa's low-key being a complete asshole. She not saying nothing, okay? Even though Cloud was on some edgy shit the whole game, but Tifa wasn't saying nothing. And that was my other biggest issue. The third, and I feel the biggest issue with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is the ending. Okay? And I don't want to sound like a what's it called? Sound like a beating drum or some shit, but yeah. The ending was, you know, I'm 50-50 on it, okay? It was some shit I absolutely loved. It was some shit I fucking hated. It was some shit I liked. And it was some shit I just truly did not like. It wasn't chapter 15, it was, well, chapter 15 or 14, whatever the last chapter is. From the start of it to the end, it's a fucking roller coaster shit. Emotions for me. Because sometimes I'm like, oh shit, I love this shit. Sometimes I'm like, what the fuck are they thinking? I'm like, what are they smoking right now? And I'm like, and bro, y'all can say Tetsuya Nomura did not write this shit all you want. He definitely has some influence. I don't care what nobody says. This ending was Nomura as fuck. This ending was super Tetsuya Nomura as fuck. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm a fan of Tetsuya Nomura. Kingdom Hearts 2 is my favorite game of all time. But now, one of you motherfuckers looking on this video and play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, you cannot tell me you played 160 hours of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and you did not once, twice, or three times be like, that's some Nomura shit right there, or that's some Kingdom Hearts shit right there. Like, if you tell me that, you're fucking lying. It was some points where I was like, yep, that's some Nomura shit. Yep, that's some Kingdom Hearts shit. As soon as I got to the fucking Mughal Emporium, I'm like, that's some Kingdom Hearts shit right there. I'm like, that definitely has some Kingdom Hearts influence right there. But why did I say the ending feels Tetsuya Nomura as fuck? I'm about to break it down for y'all, okay? Like most of the chapters, okay? So, we start off in the chapter. Me personally, when I first got it, you're gonna see on my gameplay video how I felt about it. But you start off in chapter 15 or 14, whichever one it was. Cloud and Aerith are in a whole nother fucking timeline. like, what the fuck? Sephiroth cuts them down and they send them off. They go to a whole nother timeline. I thought it was both Cloud and Aerith, so I was really pissed off. I'm like, what in the world is this? So they go on, and it's very odd. They're making you choose choices of like candy and shit. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, oh, the game has been perfect to this moment. It's been perfect. It's been 10 out of, I'll say 11 out of 10. 11 out of 10 till we got to this moment. And then it's like, then they're going back and forth from Zack's timeline to Cloud's timeline. And, you know, after the end, you realize that no, it's not both of them. It's actually a whole nother era from another timeline. But Cloud, the original Final Fantasy VII Cloud, I mean, not the original, but the remake Cloud, went to this new era timeline, and then Sephiroth ended up offering her in that timeline. And it's like, okay, so now Cloud comes back. He comes back to his timeline. And now the whole thing's going on with the the ending of Aerith. And this time it's completely different. Okay, it's completely different. And the first problem I had was they dead ass, I don't know if they did this on purpose or not, but they was dead ass reusing scenes from Remake. The end of Remake is the same fucking thing as Rebirth. The whole thing where the meteor is coming down and then Barrett's like, what is going on? The whole head turn shit, and it's the same scene. Go look at it. It's the same scene from Remake. That was my other issue. Okay, so then we go on. Cloud goes on to look for Aerith, and then this is where I feel like, and saying it feels Nomura as fuck, it could either be good or bad. This part right here was Nomura as fuck, but it was fucking good. Okay, it was good. Okay, so No. I'm gonna get to that after, but I gotta reveal something, okay? So now we get to the infamous scene where Sephiroth comes down, cuts down Aerith. So then he comes down, but this time they make it seem like Cloud saves Aerith. He blocks her. And then I'm like, okay, I don't have no problem with Aerith surviving. And after that, you see the other side of Sephiroth's sword, and it shows that Aerith did die. And it's like, I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And then we're confused, like, is Aerith dead or is she alive? And it was like, come on, bro. But then, okay, this is the Nomura shit right here. The Sephiroth boss, okay. Nah, that's your fire. Why is Nomura's fuck? It felt like a fucking big ass Xehanort boss. I'm not gonna. It felt like a Xehanort boss. It felt like an Ansem, Xemnas, and old Xehanort boss. It's like, cause if you play Kingdom Hearts 1, you know the Ansem boss, the big giant Ansem boss. Like, yes, the giant Sephiroth, the giant mutated Sephiroth is from the original Final Fantasy 7, but in this version, since it's like third person and not like turn based, it looks like it looks like the Ansem boss from the final boss of Kingdom Hearts 1. Fucking nuts. And then you got the lone Xemnas type boss with Sephiroth. And then you got we get the sickest. This shit was we got I don't give a fuck, it never didn't make sense. Cloud, exact. After the fucking bomb goes off in his timeline, he sees a frozen Cloud. He touches his arm, and then they fucking tag team. It was so fucking cool. It was so cool. And that shit was like Sora and Riku, bro. It was like Sora and Riku. And then you'll see. It was so cool because you never thought this shit happened. You never thought this shit right here would happen. We got two Buster Swords. We got Cloud and Zack teaming up to fight Sephiroth. And you get this fucking sick ass fucking 2v1 of Cloud and Zack versus Sephiroth. And it's badass as shit. And then you go on to the other party, and they're fighting like the different parts of Sephiroth. And then Sephiroth like cuts Cloud and Zack's dimension to where Cloud is fighting him in one dimension and Zack is fighting him in another dimension. This shit was good shit. It was good shit. It was good fucking shit. I'm not gonna lie. It was sick. It was sick. And then we have the 1v1 with Cloud and Sephiroth. The final boss. Okay? The final phase. Okay? Because it's a lot of phases. This whole chapter was a phase fest. Okay? And then fucking Aerith comes out from fucking somewhere. From fucking spirits or some shit. Or just out of Cloud's mind. And then it's Aerith and Cloud versus fucking Sephiroth. And Sephiroth is like, he at this point he's like fucking, he's like Weisty Immaculate on roids, bro. He got all his nigga ability. It's like, plus he got the whispers with fucking Sephiroth's own ability. So he was going nuts. Fight was nuts. You end up having your Emperor Strikes Back moment where Sephiroth, he loses, but he really doesn't. He flies off. Boom. That's the end of the story. But then here's where we get with the issue. And this is the bad part of some Nomura type shit. So, it ends, and then Cloud, it's like weird because at the end, Earth like fades off into the sunset, and then we get back to like where the whole party is, and then Earth's like she's dead, But then we get to another scene, and then fucking Aerith is there, and it's like, oh man. So basically, they're trying to say that to everybody else, Aerith is really dead. But since Cloud has the Sephiroth genes inside of him, he's still imagining that Aerith is still alive somehow, and he's the only one fucking hallucinating and thinking Aerith is still alive. And I just think that was just way less impactful. Like 100, it was like way less impactful than what happened in the original. I'm not gonna lie, it was a super letdown. I'm not gonna lie, the ending was a super letdown, because it would have been fine if you had all the shit with the boss fight and everything, and instead of just this mind fuckery bullshit, and just have, okay, let me, I'm not trying to say I'm a writer or nothing, but let me try to map it out like this, okay? So, it would have been better if Sephiroth comes down, and we got the whole speech about faith with Aerith. Sephiroth still kills Aerith, okay? He still kills Aerith, and it puts it in a trance of where it doesn't matter whatever timeline it is, because we've seen previously in the other dimension that Sephiroth still destroyed Aerith's church and still killed Aerith. It's like a thing where no matter what you do, Aerith will still die. And Sephiroth is winning with faith, because the whole thing with Aerith's storyline is faith is not always the answer. Like, faith is not always 100%. And Sephiroth is being like, yeah, only my faith is not 100%, but everybody else's shit is. And he was gonna get his gold to get the black materia and the fucking beam, drop the meteor, and then, but this time he's on like a whole nother scale from the original, where he wants all the fucking worlds to collide, and he can drop the meteor and destroy all the worlds, and then he can be king and all the bullshit because it's Sephiroth. It's Sephiroth! You know what it is. Okay? So, I feel like if he comes down, kills Aerith, fate still stays the same with Aerith's fate, at least. We get the whole thing, you know, the party versus Sephiroth, Zack and Cloud versus Sephiroth, all that shit. And then after Aerith and Cloud team up for that last time, in the spiritual like dimension shit or whatever it was, you give the same ending as the original. That shit is way too iconic to not get put in the game. I'm sorry, bruh. It should have been Cloud carrying Aerith, putting her in the water with the clear materia, sending her to the planet. Not this mindfuckery mess at the end. It's like, and the ending just makes it seem like Aerith might be coming back. Like, she might like actually come back to life, life. But the whole just fucking Cloud like losing his mind type shit, like just imagining Aerith still being alive, I think that was just super counterproductive of the actual story. And that's why I said, instead of a 93, if they would have had the shit that I just said, it would have been a 95, period. Like, I don't think it's like 96 like a Elden Ring or Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild like that, but like a 95. They're like, oh shit, this is one of the greatest games of all time. If they would have kept the ink and not the... People like to say it was the graphic. I don't think it was the graphic that some people have the most problem with. I think it was the ending. Because the ending is like... From start to that point, the game was perfect. Like, it was perfect. But... Overall, I think Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is a 10 out of 10 still. It was 11 out of 10, got dropped down to a 10 out of 10. Excuse me. And also, earlier, the thing that I said, also how I feel like Dragon Dogma 2 did come up short of winning Game of the Year. I do think Rebirth will win Game of the Year. But thanks everybody for watching. I love this game. My gameplay videos are going to be dropping like sooner or later, someday. I'm trying to get it, but it's a lot, man. But you're going to see how I feel about certain situations, because I did do the whole thing on recording, and I will be dropping it. Thanks everybody for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'm out.